right, good morning, good morning, good morning. It is 5:30, 8:30, depending where you're at. All right, so yesterday the markets rallied pretty nicely off of that $4,100 level. We almost hit 4,300. So let's see if we have what's in the books for today. So overall, I'm just gonna get to it. February Chairman Powell came out very dovish yesterday when it came to the Q&A reports. So, which I think that the market was just looking for anything for it to just go up. So far, the markets have hit 4,300 overnight. Actually, yesterday pulled back to about 4,267. So only about a 30% drop, which is nothing compared to where we took off. We went from basically yesterday we went from like the lows were like 41, 44, hit the highs of 4,300. So about 150 some points up. And we're only pulled back about 30 points so far. So key things to watch this morning is see if do we pull back or do we continue, right? Do we have a trending day today? Or do we wait for the job reports, which comes out tomorrow? But in that report, he was very dovish on numerous things. The main thing that came out of that discussion was that when they asked about 75 basis points, is that they said they never had that discussion. So, good morning, James. So if they never had that discussion, what does that mean? Does that mean that basically in 2 weeks when the minutes comes out of these minutes, and they say that this is just a possibility. I'm not saying that it does happen, but I'm saying, what if there has been a discussion of 75 basis points? Then that means that he lied, and basically the markets could go back down again. But overall, what I'm looking in the observation here in the markets, and this is what I've been noticing. If we start looking at the overall markets from a daily perspective, right? We're looking at the NASDAQ, we're looking at the Russell, at the XPX, NASDAQ, and Russell. Off of these level 4,100, we notice that the Fed comes out with very dovish remarks, and we tend to bounce off at this area, right? We tend to bounce. As we continue higher, right? And it looks like at some moment that this will probably hit 43.73, right? If this continues with this pattern right here. We have to look at these patterns right here, that in this area, around 42.21 to about 40.06 now, and we're in this consolidation area. We're in this. Now, what you believe, whether we go lower, yes, there's a war, there's a lot of things going that tells us that we're going down. But in the beginning of the year, I told you guys that more than likely we're not going to go straight down in a one line. That we're more likely going to just go up, down. And what I'm thinking the Fed is doing is that they're propping up the market. So this is the soft landing. So this is considered, to me, the soft landing, where basically, all right, we're going to give you some good news and we're going to prop the market up. And they're watching the markets. I mean, clearly, and it tells me that they are, right? And then when it gets up to about 45, 4,600, then they basically will say, okay, bad reports, bad news, earnings, whatever, high interest rates, and then basically the markets goes back down again, right? And that's when I've noticed what the pattern is. And this is, I believe, is part of the soft landing. NASDAQ coming back up. But at some moment, this will break and some news will catch up to them. So this, like, basically we had a war, we had high inflation, we had, what's next? I know that the debt ceiling is pretty high. At some moment, nobody's discussing it, but with high interest rates, that is going to cause, the service of that debt more expensive. But as for now, we just trade the order flow, guys. That's at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to it. 4,100, though, we're looking at the observation, we're reacting to it. As far as the VIX, gave us numerous signals yesterday. I was getting alerts left and right that we were going lower. And I think I put alerts at the low here. They're just dinging. They dinged off the bat. Now today we're coming to the end here, right? Right at that 25, 20. What I also have noticed anytime this comes back to the 20 area, that people start buying a lot of puts, right? So that's another observation that I made. We're at 25.90 right now. It looks like we're working our way lower. We can go up a little bit. I don't know what's going to happen today, but let's see what happens. We should trend. I'm putting my alert right here on. I'm putting my alert right here on the top here to see if we can rally up. The other thing we want to look at is a 10-year note. Remember, this goes up, not good for tech. Now, it doesn't mean that when it goes up, it's bad for tech. It just means that you have to allow tech to kind of get comfortable with these rates here at 2.9. Now, if we see this start going above 3%, that's probably going to bring down the tech. But today is pretty simple, guys. Today is pretty simple. What I want to see, and Shop is down, by the way, guys. Shop missed. Like their earnings are terrible. They missed earnings. And this was a play that I mentioned yesterday. We maybe go puts on 500, but I totally missed the boat on this because I was trading the XPX. But this is something that earnings came out and they totally missed. I mean, they're bad. So let's look at what's for today. So for the E-minis, you can tell overnight action right around 1 o'clock. 2 o'clock we sold off. And this is the overnight action, 4,300. Where are we now? We're at 4,270. It looks like we're consolidating right now between this area. As far as going into the open today, just a lot of consolidation. We're at the 50 here, at the 50 here, no 50 here. This is the area that I think that we're probably going to balance out. Let's see if that holds to be true. So looks like we're probably going to come back here, maybe retest this 42.20, maybe somewhere in here. Maybe 42.20. $42, yeah, somewhere in there, maybe. Let's see what happens. Let's see how this comes up. It looks weaker. Probably needs to pull back a little bit more here. There, probably consolidate. So it gives me maybe, let's see how this rolls out. Okay, XPX, we beelined it to 4,300. Again, this is what it looks like. We bounced off the 50-day here, went to 4,300, beelined it there. Can we break through? This is going to be tough levels, but can we break through? Do we have follow through today? Okay, this is usually one. Bounce off of the 50 here on both sides. Do we get we pull back? Does it continue? Do we pull back? Right now, 42.69. We're going to pull back. That puts us at 42.80. So we're probably going to pull back a little bit. Okay, that's what that means there. SPY, same type of thing. 4,300 was hit. Exhaustion buy or exhaustion sell. Maybe this bounces up a little bit. Maybe kind of retest at 430. Overnight action, you can tell we sold at 429 as far as SPY, which was the highs there. So that's going to be a key area. So 430 is going to be pretty strong. We pull back. Let's see if we pull back. That could be a possibility today. We should trend today. I just don't know which ways are going to go today. So we'll see. We could go back down too. That is the option here. If we go back down and we give this up and come back down to 41.44, do we give it up and just have a seesaw action? Doesn't look like it yet. I'm just trying to see what the market's processing right now. Obviously, at that 2 o'clock a.m., someone globally just kind of sold it down about 30 handles. All right, but the consensus has to be mutual. Overall, let's look at what rallied. I mean, Google rallied up nicely again. So, if this is true, you should see Google continuing up. If we notice all the ones that rallied. Now, Amazon didn't rally as much as strong because they are affected. But it did rally pretty nicely. I mean, 23.86 to about 24.90. It rallied about 100 points. Tesla should move. If we see Tesla move very early, it takes out that 950, it could probably hit 1,000. But Tesla moves really, really nicely off of the E80s. Like I told you, it's been being bought below 900. ISRG rallied nicely too. So did CMG, but not too bad. We need the techs to keep on rallying. Shopify down, Apple. Okay, Roku. As far as Shop missed. Okay, so Shop is going to open at 423, close to that $500 level. Let's see. Shop was really, really bad. I mean, basically, I think they only made 50 cents. Yeah, their PE ratio is way, way too high, and they missed. So where can Shop go? Too far away from the 50, too far away here. Let's see if Shop can well, Shop, this is nice. This is the hour. It just started about 2 hours ago, 7 a.m. Would like to get it closer. Maybe a small trade here if it starts breaking down here to the downside, and I'll scalp here. I think this probably can sell off even more based on those numbers that came out. They were bad. This thing should be at 200. I mean, I don't know if it's going to get there today, but it's based on their PE ratios, what they put up, their cash that they have. This should be 200. It's not far-fetched. 284, right in here, 300, 284, based on their PE ratios. But their earnings were terrible. All right, but let's look at QQQs real quick and not beat a dead horse and see where the opportunities are. All right, so the Qs rallied here. You got to keep an eye on the VIX. If we start rallying and breaking up, then we're probably going to pull back a little bit more. Pretty simple, guys. Put your alerts on the VIX. I put mine at 26.54. I have one here at 29.46. If you see this ding, 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 then that's going to tell you we're probably going to go lower. Now, if we, by chance, we could have an exhaustion sell, that is a possibility. Anything's possible. If I hit that one to the downside, then more than likely, we're probably going to go a little bit higher. But I don't see, as far as momentum plays, personally, I don't see it going higher, but anything is possible. As far as the Treasury notes, if you see us hitting 3%, the tech can't handle this above 3%. Okay, we haven't been above 3%. This is what happened to tech at 1.69 to 3%. But then again, when we look at the this right now, okay, we know that the good news comes at the bottom here. Does it have follow through? Does it continue to this 43.75? Does it happen today? Does it happen on the job reports? The one thing that Powell said yesterday, he said that we're not looking at one key economic data or one economic number that's going to affect our decision. We're looking at numerous things, right? So that's was very, very positive for the overall markets. But there is some selling pressure at this 22.76. That can change. As far as the SPY, right now, it looks like it will probably go lower. Momentum, this should be dying down here, probably go lower. Don't know if we start breaking zero here. If this starts going zero, then this more likely is going to meet the 50 or somewhere around 418. Okay, so key areas what I'm looking at. This breaks, that breaks zero. It just tells me 418 more likely it's going to be right in this area, right in here, 419, 418, and then what happens there? Okay, we'll reevaluate because then that's going to put me right around here, and then does it rally back up to this 430 area, kind of retest? There's a possibility, but right now the 1 minute is just winding. It's just winding up. There's no real clear direction at this moment of time, which is perfect. We don't want it to move too far up. We got about 45 candles. So this is more likely going to move at the open. It's just if it stays here, It's probably going to wind up either up or down. It's either going to go back up to retest this 430 from 426 to 430. You got to understand on the SPY or right here, you're talking about a 30-point move. If it goes back down to 418 or 442.20, you're looking about a 40-point move, right? On the SPY, that calculates to about roughly 3 points on the upside and about a little bit more to the downside. We hit 420. We're looking at 6 points, okay? About 6 points. So just keep an eye on it. If it stays in this area lingering, that's probably what could happen. So again, it's more likely going to happen at the open. So far, if it stays like this, and we're going to see this, we're going to look for these moving averages probably at the open, see what happens. We have them both here and here. So if it goes to the downside, you're going to see this curling over, spreading apart to the downside. And this will break and come down. How far down does it go? And look for these to end probably in the first hour. If it starts spreading up right here, then more than likely you're going to see this bounce. This is going to start curling up a little bit and probably going to hit these highs of 428 to 430. Maybe break through. I don't know if it's going to break through. If it breaks through, that is a possibility. Then this is going to be a bounce off the 50, day 2 bounce, right? Because this would be considered a break here of the 50 here, day 1. So this would be a day 2 continuation. If we have that, and this could, if it starts breaking 430, I'm not saying it's going to, because there's a lot of headwinds up here, but if it does, then it breaks. This is a bounce, and this will be an exhaustion buy in the hourlies. And how far do we go? We can probably go to this 432, right? This is where we keep our levels from the weeks prior, 436, and we can probably go in that area right there. Don't know if that's going to happen, but anything's possible. So far right now, the E-minis are working its way lower, right? So again, and this is what I'm looking for. The spreading of the legs, going to recent support, but it's still consolidating. We're still in this tight range consolidation. All right, so let's see. Let's look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin real quick. Bitcoin, again, rallied a little bit off that news as well. Still below 40, just sideways consolidation on Bitcoin. What else do we have? Let's look at Tesla real quick. All right, Tesla pre-market selling off a little bit. So off of that 950, which is fine. It could sell off. We got 45 minutes, 40 minutes. Let's see how much it sells off. But same type of thing. If this breaks here, can come back down to either this 923, 910. And again, watch the tech, watch Apple. The tech should rally. If the techs rally today, then more than likely we go higher for a day 2 for going up. VIX is climbing up a little bit right now. And anything's not changed. All right, we're going lower. All right, so we're heading lower. Let's see if we hit that 42.20. I don't know if does it happen pre-market, possibly. If we hit that 42.20, see how it reacts there. But right now, this is exactly what I was talking about. We broke 0. We're breaking down here, and more likely we're probably going to break down here. If this continues, where can we go? Right in here, maybe? 42.20, is that where we're going to open? Right in there? That is a possibility. And see what happens there. So that's more likely, it looks like it's probably going to happen in the next, now, 38 candles. We'll see. All right, guys, short and sweet. That's what I'm looking for. So again, look for the spreading of the legs at the open. You know, try to put the pieces of things together. I'm going to be looking for, probably going to add 420. So I'll probably be adding, looking at the 440 calls, 435 calls, somewhere in there, 440 calls, somewhere in there. Probably for the 13th. Today is Wednesday. I'll tell you it's Thursday. Maybe add a week, maybe the following week, next Friday. And then I'll be looking for the downsides, maybe the 416, the 414, somewhere in here, 410s, somewhere in there for puts. So we'll see. But again, just be nimble. We should have a trending day today. Let's see which way it goes, and let the moving arrow just let the market tell you which way it's going to go. All right, guys, go out there, go get it, and that's all we got. We'll see you soon. All right, take care. Bye-bye.